The music softened as the doors opened. At first, no one noticed him. Then heads began to turn slowly, curiously, like ripples spreading across still water. The bride's smile faltered for just a fraction of a second. He hadn't come to make a scene, he had come with his daughter. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you re-watching from. I love knowing who is listening. Daniel hadn't slept much the night before, not because he was bitter, not because he was angry, but because memory is loud when life is about to change again. 5 years earlier, he and Emily had stood in a small apartment arguing about bills, time, exhaustion, and dreams that didn't align anymore. Love had not exploded, it had simply worn thin, and when she left gently but decisively. Their daughter, Lily, was only 3. Daniel became a single father overnight. Diapers, daycare, schedules, bedtime stories. He learned how to braid hair by watching tutorials at midnight. He burned pancakes, then mastered them. He worked longer hours, then came home and read fairy tales with a tired smile. He never spoke badly about Emily, not once, even when the custody arrangements felt unfair, even when loneliness echoed through the house after Lily fell asleep. When Emily called to say she was getting married, he felt something twist in his chest. Not jealousy, something quieter, finality. "You can come," she had said carefully. It might mean a lot to Lily. He almost declined. Pride is heavy, but fatherhood is heavier. So on that bright afternoon, under a canopy of white roses and drifting summer air, Daniel stepped into the wedding venue holding Lily's small hand. The garden shimmered in soft gold light. Guests in pastel dresses and pressed suits turned subtly, whispering behind polite smiles. Some knew the history, others only sensed tension. Emily stood near the altar, radiant in lace. For a heartbeat, her eyes met Daniel's. There was no hostility there, only surprise and something like gratitude. Daniel wore a simple navy suit, nothing flashy, nothing dramatic. He hadn't come to compete with the groom. He hadn't come to reclaim anything. He had come to show his daughter what strength looks like. Lily squeezed his hand. "Daddy, Mommy looks like a princess," she whispered. He smiled. "She does." Inside, his heart wavered. He remembered another day years ago when Emily had worn white. He remembered promises spoken with certainty. But time reshapes everything. As they found their seats, murmurs continued. Some guests expected tension, a confrontation, a speech. Weddings have a way of amplifying drama. Instead, Daniel clapped. When the groom took Emily's hand, he stood when everyone stood. He smiled when Lily tossed flower petals down the aisle, her laughter floating through the warm air. The groom, Marcus, seemed unsure at first. He had heard stories, second-hand narratives shaped by bias and distance. He expected resentment. What he saw instead was composure. During the reception, music filled the evening sky. Glasses clinked, laughter rose and fell like waves. Then came the father-daughter dance. Lily ran toward Daniel, her dress bouncing lightly around her knees. He knelt, steadying himself emotionally before steadying her physically. As the music played, he lifted her gently. She rested her head against his shoulder, small fingers gripping the fabric of his suit. The crowd softened. There is something disarming about a father holding his child without ego, without agenda. Emily watched from across the floor. Her new husband stood beside her, noticing the quiet dignity in the moment. Daniel did not look at Emily. He looked only at Lily. In his chest, conflicting emotions settled into something unexpected peace, not because he had won, not because he had proven anything, but because he had chosen grace over pride, and grace is louder than confrontation. Later, as the sun dipped lower and golden light stretched across the garden, Marcus approached Daniel. "Thank you for coming," he said sincerely. Daniel met his eyes. For a moment, tension hovered man to man, past to present. "She deserves a happy day," Daniel replied. No accusation, no sarcasm, just truth. Marcus nodded, understanding more than words could express. Some guests who had anticipated drama found themselves instead moved by restraint. They saw something rare, a man secure enough not to compete for applause. When the evening ended, Lily hugged her mother tightly. Then she ran back to Daniel. "Did I dance good?" she asked. "The best," he said. As they walked to the car beneath a sky streaked in soft pink and fading blue, Daniel felt lighter than he had in years. He had not reclaimed a lost love. He had not embarrassed anyone. He had not tried to rewrite the past. He had shown his daughter what maturity looks like, what forgiveness feels like, what self-respect sounds like when it doesn't need volume. Back at home, as Lily drifted to sleep, he realized something important. Closure isn't always a conversation. Sometimes it's a choice. And sometimes the greatest victory isn't in taking something back but in standing tall without needing to. Word of that evening lingered in quiet conversations, not because of scandal, but because of strength, because everyone expected noise, and instead they witnessed dignity, a bold universal truth. True strength is not in proving yourself, it is in knowing you don't have to. Sometimes the loudest respect is earned in silence. If this story moved you, tell me, would you have shown up? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more powerful stories that reveal the quiet victories we don't always see.